Welcome back, or rather, welcome me back. You know, your favorite movie reviewer ever on Man Cinema Reviews, where it's the exploration of everything cinema and things of that nature. If you are a first time viewer, or if you're one of my day ones, I am blessed to call you my own and be a part of this community that we call Man Cinema Reviews. Today is going to be a September release roundup. It's been a minute since my last review, so I have 4 titles that I'm going to be reviewing. But before we get to those 4 titles, let's just keep it close to the chest and not reveal it just yet. But before we do that, go ahead, press like, subscribe, and be sure to hit the notification bell as well to notify you of any and all reviews and the like to this channel. Thank you very much for choosing Man Cinema Reviews. So for the first title, I'm going to go with Denzel Washington's latest, The Equalizer 3. Now this is directed by Antoine Fuqua. This is a series of 3 films, and this is canon. This is a part of the trilogy, you will say. And I am actually a new viewer to the series. Yes, I have not seen the previous 2 Equalizers, so Equalizer 3 will be my introduction to Robert McCall. This film deals with the government assassin, now retired and in southern Italy, enjoying his solace and just peaceful retirement. However, the people he becomes involved with, gains relationships with, are now being threatened by the local mafia. And it is up to Robert McCall to take down this organized crime syndicate. Now, with this film, I have to say that as Denzel Washington is becoming a seasoned actor, Academy Award winning actor, one of the greatest to ever do it on screen, I just think that it's a fresh breath of air for his trajectory as far as his career thus far. Now, maybe I'm just living under a rock, but where have I been? How come I have not seen the previous 2 Equalizers? It's no matter. This is kind of feels like it's a standalone. If you know, you know. And if you can recall from previous films of other characters, I know that I saw Melissa Leo in a picture. I believe she shows up in a flashback. And I know there's some peripheral association or knowledge that I do have that, gains me some kind of insight into the Equalizer series. However, with this film, I really do think that Antoine Fuqua, no stranger to working with Denzel, as he directed him in Equalizer 1 and 2, but also in The Magnificent Seven, and probably their best collaboration in Training Day. I just think that these 2 work well, and Antoine Fuqua knows Denzel Washington's strengths. And I really think that at his seasoned age, Robert McCall is just a great, rich character. He definitely looks after your everyday common folk and knows that he is, stealthily and secretly lethal. But when, people that are wrong, people definitely that he feels a close kinship with, if they are being threatened by these terroristic, whether domestic or foreign. In this case, he is in Italy, he's dealing with the mafia. He can't let the mafia dictate how these people will live in this small community. So he definitely goes for the jugular. I really do like this Robert McCall character. And with this film, it just goes without saying that it's pure popcorn action suspense schlock. And with a late kind of post-summer release, I really do think that this is hitting the sweet spot as far as where it's being released at. I think that with the slow run of September releases going into October, this is kind of a dormant area for cinema, but I really do think that Equalizer 3 is a fun time at the theaters. I just do believe that the kind of side plot of Dakota Fanning gets a little bit convoluted, almost feels like redundant, but I do know that she is canon and there is an association from the other 2 films that you will learn in the end of the film. I do like the pairing coming back together. However, I do think that the subplot is wasted a little bit. It's not nearly as interesting as its main focus of McCall protecting these people in this small community in Italy. And that's where the film should focus its scope at. And I will give Equalizer 3 a strong 3-star review. Going on to the next film. And it has to do with being set in Italy. And it does have to do with a person putting justice first. So there is parallels between Equalizer 3 and the next film, A Haunting in Venice. Now this is a continuation of the Agatha Christie novel, focusing in on Detective Poirot, played by Kenneth Branagh. Now he is in a retirement phase. Again, another parallel between Equalizer 3 and this film. I think that this is actually a stellar sequel. I think it even rivals its first film, which I was pretty much a fan for when I first saw the film. I have not revisited, but I did like it relatively when it was released. This film is no exception to the rule. A great ensemble: Tina Fey, Jamie Dornan, just the list goes on and on. It's a great cast. Michelle Yeoh, fresh off of her Academy Award winning Everything Everywhere All at Once. This film deals with a retired Detective Poirot being invited to a seance where he does not believe in the supernatural or ghosts, but this night will make him a believer in that in this seance a murder does occur. Now, is it supernatural or is it someone locked in this haunted palazzo? And that's where the audience has to decipher who it is, what it is it human or is it a phantom? It's for you to decide. It's great because I like the fact that this film picks up where the first one leaves off. Again, I didn't see the second one, I skipped it. But this film, I think, is a better film than even its predecessor. I think A Haunting in Venice is actually a very thrilling, very supernatural, psychological thriller. It does have some horror elements as well, and it does retain that classical Agatha Christie poeticism and its nuances that you pick up. Detective Poirot is just a very rich and interesting character, and I think Kenneth Branagh knows how to play him. And I think that this ensemble is probably the best out of the series. Again, mind you, I did skip Death at the Nile, but this film is great actually. I think that the supernatural and the mystery works like gangbusters. This is this generation's Clue. I love the fact that that this ensemble is not wasted. Each and every actor is just utilized to their strengths. Even Tina Fey, who's more known in her comedy realm, is definitely in her bag in this film. I really do think that everybody steps it up in this film. I think A Haunting in Venice is actually a very deep, rich mystery film with haunting elements. I think that the horror elements are very cleverly done. I think in a way that feels literary and poetic. I really do think that it capitalizes off of a strong series. It does have pockets that are slow, but with a rich Agatha Christie novel of yesteryear, I really do think that Kenneth Branagh, who is director and star of the film, is playing to his strengths. I will go ahead and give A Haunting in Venice a stellar 3.5, almost 4 stars. Going on to the next film, it is Gran Turismo. It's based on a PlayStation video game. It's got a great cast. Everybody involved. Neil Blomkamp is a great director. And I think that this is his best film since District 9. The elite race car industry being an underdog story where a working class gamer is able to compete in a video game contest to actually become a real life athletic race car driver is very interesting. It's a David and Goliath story. I think that it's great to capitalize off of a a video game. A lot of times people want to make a video game adaptation. It doesn't really translate to the screen. However, I think that Neil Blomkamp really knows its strengths. It knows where to get the emotional beats, being that it is a true story. And I think if you are a fan of the Gran Turismo series, you can get a lot out of it, with as well as being just your everyday moviegoer, not really associated with the video game series. You can just take it as a incredible true story. This has also David Harbour, who plays a former race car driver, and he's going to be coaching. And I think that David Harbour here even plays his strengths. I think there are endearing moments with him and the main character. I do think that this film does run into some kind of cliche moments. I do think that it's just relatively standard. It does fall into kind of, Rocky, 8 Mile territory, where it's the classic underdog story about this guy from the slums working his way up to competitive racing and just winning against all odds. I think this is a cool cast, cool story, and it's based on a true story as well as a video game. Gran Turismo just really threw me for a loop. It's really solid fun, whether it be kind of popcorn schlock, but I had fun with it. So I will give Gran Turismo a standard 3-star review. Going on to the last film, which is the latest released film, Dumb Money. This is a comedic biopic about the GameStop stock market controversy. It was in the beginning stages of the pandemic, right around the time I started this YouTube channel, review channel, so that there does seem to be some recency bias, and it's great that it's already turned into a motion picture directed by Craig Gillespie, who's a great director. I, Tonya, Lars and the Rail Girl. I just think that this guy is good with the comedy and the drama. I do think that this has elements of both. It's got a great cast, Paul Dano, Shailene Woodley, Seth Rogen. This film about the hedge fund conglomerates, the people that have 10, 15, $20 billion net worth, going after the little man, Paul Dano's character, Keith Gill, who's this YouTube content creator who picks a stock, which is GameStop, kind of a fledgling, failing company of yesteryear, retail store for video games. Hey, there you go with the Gran Turismo association. We just got films that parallel each other here. And just picking a stock that he finds smart, that he thinks that will grow, and that the hedge fund guys are not paying attention to, and they're trying to kill it, trying to make a buck off of a failing company. And when the stock market, its stock folds, they're going to reap all the benefits. However, Keith Gill and his followers are putting their hard-earned money, some are putting their life savings in limbo by investing in the stock for GameStop. And this is including America Ferrera's character, a few others. A worker that is currently working at GameStop is putting his marbles all into the stock. It's great to see how the little man wants to trump these, hedge fund assholes who want to profit off of a failing company, and they're gonna be giving the middle finger to, corporate America, if you will, the greed of, a capitalist society. I think this is a great cast. I think it's a strong story. I think it does get caught up in a little bit of cliches, if you will, kind of going through the motions as far as making an interesting film out of a stock market controversy, but it does so with comedic and dramatic beats that just work wonders, and I think it's a great ensemble cast. I just think it's funny, it's smart, it's intuitive, it's definitely got Big Short vibes, Wall Street vibes. I just think that films of its ilk could have a kind of alternative comedic route with Dumb Money, and I think it's great for it. I will give Dumb Money a strong 3.5, nearly 4 stars. So we're in the realm of 3 to 3.5 with these 4 titles. Have you seen Dumb Money, A Haunting in Venice, Gran Turismo, and Equalizer 3? If so, let me know what you thought about these films down below, and we'll be seeing you soon. I got things planned with the new releases, as well as next month is my birthday month. It's also spooky time. I got a episode that I'm working on, and I'm going to present it to you. I'm very excited, and we'll see you on the next one. Peace.